Hi, this is Jeff's Musical Car in Moncton, and this week I'm with Stephanie Ratcliff. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me in your car.
No problem. So tell me a bit about your music career and where you're from, and I know there's a new EP, lots of exciting things happening. Can you just tell me maybe a little bit about the beginnings and how it kind of led you here?
Definitely, yeah. Well, I'm originally from Timmins, Ontario. Moved out to BC when, I guess 14 years ago, so BC is kind of home now, but my roots are Northern Ontario, and didn't really start doing music until about 4 or 5 years ago, so my mid-30s.
Oh, yeah.
Started a bit later in life.
Late bloomer.
Exactly, yeah. And I've been writing for many years, but never really wanted to share my songs or sing in front of people. And yeah, in the last 4 or 5 years, I started to work on some albums and record some music and do some tours, play in front of people. Mm-hmm. And now I'm here in Moncton, New Brunswick.
Do you think it helps maybe with the songwriting and the fact that you do have more life experiences to share? As a 20-year-old, you're kind of limited. You feel like you've known the world, but I bet a lot of artists, they look back and think like, what was I thinking? But
yeah, I mean, definitely experience helps. I think I definitely write from experience and from the heart, and what kind of got me going into music was actually an experience with depression. Mm-hmm. And so what came out of that was just this awareness that I was part of why I was made was to share my songs with other people. And so a lot of my music comes from just that place of kind of knowing, or maybe I haven't been in the exact situation, but I know grief or despair or whatever, but also joy and happiness and hope. It's not all just darkness, that's for sure. Yeah.
So tell me about the song you're going to play for me today.
So this one is off of an EP I released last year. The EP is called that's this year's EP. Last year's EP is called Things Above Ground. Okay. And this is a song that I wrote. Actually, I was reading a book. I can't remember the title of the book, but it was about how, when Canada was settled by the Europeans, and how basically genocide happened through disease. So it was an intense book of how the settlers used disease to basically kill off the First Nations people. Okay. And so I was really impacted by that, and then just around that same time was having conversations with different people about just some of the treatment of the First Nations people. Okay. And this song kind of came from that place, and just thinking about how we live and just want what we want and get what we would get as first world Caucasian people, and how we, I guess, just like consumerism and materialism kind of overtakes us and overtakes our values sometimes, and we're willing to let other people suffer for what we want. Right. So it's a bit more of an intense song, but I thought, hey, why not? I'm in a car.
These are the important songs, so it's good to get those messages out.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it.
Okay. Wonder how we got from the firing squad to the other end, back again. Smoke rings from our pipes, circling like birds, preying on our life. Thirst is alive. Thirst is alive to tell you what you want. Thirst takes no side. Thirst takes no side. Be careful what you want. The skies are changing now. The axis of the earth tilting with the times. We're building with our left and crashing with our rights, while moving all the lines. Thirst is alive. Thirst is alive to tell you what you want. takes no sides. Thirst takes no sides. Be careful what you want. 'Cause I've made a racket, a real life war jacket. It's under my suit. Stiletto high boots. Is there someone to save me from all that has changed me? A fire escape door from the cancer of more. 'Cause I've made a racket, a real life war jacket. It's under my suit. It's stiletto high boots. Is there someone to save me from all that has changed me? A fire escape door from the cancer of war. Thirst is alive. Thirst is alive to tell you what you want. Thirst takes no sides. Thirst takes no sides. Be careful what you want. Thirst is alive. Thirst is alive to tell you what you want. Thirst takes no sides. Thirst takes no sides. Be careful what you want. So turn the pages fast with fingers that have bled these implicated dreams.
Great song. Love it.
Thank you.
Tell me about how you started. Do you have any really early memories of singing? Because clearly you've been singing for a while.
I've been singing. Yeah, I mean, I grew up going to church, and so it was very. My dad was a pastor, and so very involved in church every week with singing and music.
Choir and all that.
Yeah, more. Took piano lessons growing
Okay.
up, like most kids or lots of kids, and we went to a very small church, so suddenly I was playing the piano every Sunday and singing and whatnot. So music has always been a part of my life, and then I started when I was 16. My cousin taught me G, C, and D on the guitar. My very first time playing guitar, and I was like, "What is this instrument?"
Yeah.
And I've been writing, like dabbling with poetry growing up, and so then that's when I really started to combine writing like lyrics with music, and started to write songs around 16.
What's something that you learned that if you would have known it maybe a year or two ago, that you'd be like, my life is a lot easier?
Well, I think entering it, I think probably like most musicians, you kind of just think, okay, I love writing music, I want to share it, the end, and then you don't realize all the administrative work behind the scenes. And that really took me for a surprise, because I also work full-time, and so suddenly I was working full-time and doing all the admin stuff and trying to do shows and write music still.
Running all your social media.
And there's just a lot. And so I think my advice would just be try to find a team of people, even if you can't afford to pay professionals, even friends who can just help you send those emails out or help you with the tours, or just encourage you to take space to write, all those kinds of things. But it's something that you definitely can't do alone, even though it's your name sometimes. You need help, and you need people to really encourage you. And I think too, like, just it's so much work that you just want to give up half the time. It's not, you're like, oh, it's not worth it, and you're losing money and all those things, and so you just need people in your life to be like, no, like, keep going. So it's
good to have support no matter what you do in life, really, and obviously it makes sense for music.
Definitely. That's for sure.
All right, well, thanks so much for doing this, and I wish you best of luck in the rest of your tours and journeys.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. This has been great.
No problem. So that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
It's just musical car. Oh, yeah.